Hello, welcome back to Access. My name's Dave and I'm joined today by Nath.
Hello.
And Nath, I was really lucky this weekend to be involved in the closed alpha for Battlefield 1.
I know.
Which was fantastic. I've really enjoyed it, and I wanted to make this video to educate you specifically about all the many wonderful ways in which I loved it.
We've been talking a lot about it because we had a chance to kind of get a quick look at it at E3, but this is you playing it on PlayStation 4.
It is indeed.
This is PlayStation 4 footage.
It is, yeah. It absolutely is. This is me smashing it. As you can tell, there's not a lot of that in this video, so I've got that out of the way.
So you smashed it and then died?
Yeah, I smashed it, then died, and then that was pretty much it. So this is the first thing I want to talk about, flying.
Yeah.
I think flying in Battlefield 1 is fantastic. It's so accessible. I think this is the brilliance, actually, for the whole game. Look at this. I actually grenade some people. Look.
What's going on with all that?
Death.
Oh man,
that was a windmill exploding. So this is, I think,
the flare.
This
looks genuinely amazing.
This is the brilliance of the game. I think by setting it in this era, particularly, it came to light for me with flying.
You're showing us all the perspectives as well.
Everything is slower. Everything's more deliberate. With planes in other Battlefield games,
your jet planes.
Your jet planes. It's all fast. It's all like view screens, computer
view
screens. I'm looping the loop. This is like back to basics flying. You have a throttle control, and you've got your usual pitch and yaw and roll, and you're just firing machine guns. Like, all you have is that reticule. You have to work out where you need to aim to hit planes. But it's really about dogfighting. So this right now is in an attack plane. You'll notice that it's got a rear gunner seat, and it's got a different mode of fire, which is like dropping sort of grenades. And it's sort of a medium pace. This is a fighter plane, which is so nippy and has 3 wings. I think I'm right in saying.
And a big airship.
Dude. So you really...
They're flammable.
I felt like the vehicles, the air vehicles in particular, was like very different. Like, there's a bomber as well. That is
I'm enjoying
completely, not maneuverable. It's just bombing. It's no frills. There's no like, this is the bomber. Look at me getting shot up here. I loved this, right? So I got absolutely toasted, and I accidentally changed seat midway through. Look how cool that is. There's smoke very cool. Coming out everywhere. I just had to bail out, and then I was in. It was
you got
too far gone.
There?
Yeah, I do, but I'm dead anyway because it's I'm out of the combat area.
Do you know what I like? I've never seen this war rendered this gen, and you've deserted. And it's just amazing to see this happening. Sorry, we're on to another thing now.
That's all right. So the next thing I want to talk about is destruction, which is a big thing in Battlefield 1. This is sort of like...
you again?
This is me again. Look at that. Boom. So I was on the windmill. That guy just completely took out... my platform. So here, a friend of mine, look at that, just takes out the whole front of the house. Here's some awful shooting from me, so don't worry about that.
We were talking about this. One of our good friends, Aid from Yogscast, he's really into Battlefield. He was saying what him and his friends wanted was this kind of... They wanted it so that when a tank rolled into town, the destruction level was such that, the level couldn't be completely flattened, but you'd be like, there is nowhere for me to hide now. Like, a tank should be scary, man.
It definitely, yeah. And in fact, the damage that's being caused here is done by the assault class.
Right.
You've got not a secondary weapon, like a gadget, which is like a bipod mounted rocket propelled hell. I don't know. And so it completely changes the level. You'll see here there was an explosion. This is like an important point. Usually this attic is completely closed off, but now you could use it. So now you've got this new vantage point. So I think that's interesting. It's not just about destruction and like ruining someone's day. You can also use it to your advantage to like create new places from which to snipe or whatever you want.
Yeah, it's interesting when it kind of changes on the fly like that, isn't it? Like the kind of the tactical setup of the level.
Look at that. I mean, it's absolutely sort of terrifying and brilliant and amazing.
I wonder what the limits are, because I remember we spoke to one of the guys from the team at E3, and he was kind of saying you didn't want to make it so you could just eventually end up with a flat. Everyone's just playing on a pile of bricks.
Exactly, like it is, in some way sort of directed, I guess. Like not absolutely everything can be destroyed, but like exciting. So much of it can, and it's just done in a really smart way.
What's going on?
This is like just some of the war machines. So I love this. Like just driving around this level. This is a Conquest. So this is the bigger of the two maps from the Alpha. There was a Conquest on Domination, and this is just driving around here. The detail on this map is absolutely fantastic.
So are you in an early form of a tank here?
Yes, it's got sort of gunnery positions.
Right, okay.
what I really like about it is how it's just completely sort of useless. Like when you're inside, you know, you'll see a lot of this. The gunning positions and stuff. They're not ergonomic. You know, it's like your view is obscured. You'll see I get on like a machine gun at a later part of this video, and it's got like a huge armoured mount around it. So you're looking through like a tiny sliver.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I like how it's, you know, that's the thing about Battlefield's set in a modern era. That they've got loads of like technology and gadgetry that's sort of like helping you out, view screens and stuff. This is all just really...
the First World War is like known for being the first war where the kind of, you know, the industrialization of life, where our machines were used for the first time, is partly why it was like such an unbelievably brutal war, isn't it? Like,
exactly, yeah. Everyone was trying to figure out how to use technology.
Machine guns, just things, just, you know, like bits of bits of technology designed specifically for killing people as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. This is that machine gun I was talking about, where, like, again, like, there's just no frills. It fires tracer rounds, so you have to try and, you know, sort of work out how far ahead you need to be of the target to actually hit it. And look at that view. That you're looking through a tiny little rectangle. This sort of mounted gun. Look how many shots it takes. It's so inaccurate. And that sounds like a negative thing, but I kind of love it. I love how just sort of makeshift a lot of this stuff.
It gives you a flavour of the era, but it makes the balance in the actual games different, I guess. You know, like not necessarily worse, but because you'll know that as you
look at that. Someone took me out right at the end.
Smash.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's just a few of the things that I've seen. I've also seen look at this, a light tank just came through that building and
oh man,
spoilers takes me out. I also have used AA guns, which are wicked, like flak guns. There's like almost cannon, really, like on two wheels that you can use. And if you reload, it takes like 10 seconds whilst you have to take a shell out, put it on the floor. This bit is just how good it is at sort of the hell of war.
Right.
I've accidentally fired a flare there. That guy's dropped a gas grenade. I was like, I'm dying. Where's my gas mask? You have to put a gas mask on. And I'm playing as a scout here. When I get my scout gun up whilst I'm wearing a gas mask, you can't look down the sights.
Okay.
So I was trying to aim, but I can't aim there. I just think that is brilliant. There's all these kinds of look how brutal this melee is here. Just turn around. There's a guy. I'm like, I get my gun out. Have to hit him in the neck with a shovel. It's like all the best war movies. Look at this. We're all taking cover. I've got my gas mask on. Then the wall is just gone. It's like all the best war movies you've ever seen. These moments are happening all the time.
It's kind of like anti-glamorizing it, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like just kind of
totally
showing.
Agree.
It's like showing how unpleasant and how if you show someone, it's really difficult to enjoy beating someone up with a spade, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's exactly that. Like it's the hell of war, like really brought to life. It's not glamorous. It's like it's just horrible.
There's a really specific kind of look and feel to this war, isn't it? It's just for the things that we kind of touched on, like where it is kind of historically. And it's, I'm really interested to see what they do.
It's really good. Look at the fog here. This is a big thing this year, is dynamic weather, which you can see how changed this level is. I mean, I've still gone with like a medic here, I think, who does have like a scoped weapon, which is a ranged weapon, which is probably a little bit stupid. I do get taken out by a sniper right there, who's up on that roof. But the weather changes completely. What I think is great is how well Battlefield does both forms of small scale and large scale combat. So you're in a house like here, and it's really tense. I'm having all kinds of like horrible kind of one-on-one battles, and then I'll be out in the middle of a field, taking out long range stuff. It's just great. I think they've done an excellent job of being true to the era and like not glamorizing it. They just sort of, it's almost like a historical text, It's just sort of putting it out there. This is what it was like.
I was just going to say, Dave, what's that up and down with the flag? That's a capture point, isn't it, I guess?
That's a capture point. So
that's less historically accurate. Just the flag's going up and down.
Less historically accurate, unfortunately, yeah.
That's you couldn't really, What I'm saying is they weren't doing that in the actual battlefields of the First World War, just fighting over who got to put their flag.
We'd probably be sadly surprised to find out that they were. They still had like men with bugles and flags, didn't they? Like flag banner carrying.
What have we gone on to here?
This is just, I think now, just a montage of death where I just wanted to pick up on I just want to impress upon you how much I've enjoyed playing this game. I think it benefits so much from portraying this era. There's something about this historical war that I think we've all been very well sort of educated about or told about. You know, it's always been taught in schools and things. Everyone's familiar with it. There's great films about it. And this is like the best film I've ever seen about World War One. It's so real. It's like, just because everything about it is so real, like the technology isn't advanced at all. It's really it's worth, because this is one of the questions which I immediately thought of and loads of other people did as well. How does it feel that with that technology, which is, you know, not as well engineered, because we are, you know, we're now 100 years later than this, and all of our guns are cool and they've got red dot sights. How does it feel kind of stepping backwards? How have they maintained it being fun while... I think if anything, it's more fun. I mean,
it doesn't feel like clumsy.
It doesn't feel like clumsy. It doesn't feel clumsy. No, it feels. If anything, I think you feel much more skillful when you kill someone. These weapons aren't great. You know, really, they're not that good. They were just they're held together by tape almost. And there's no frills. There are no sort of like gadgets that help you out. It's just sort of point and shoot as best you can. You've just got to aim as best you can. I really do think that it told the most in the air combat, in the planes. It's just at a slower speed. It's much more manageable, and there are no missiles. There's nothing that's guided.
Interesting. It's kind of using the technology, because I think, you know, like not everyone, but there was discussion about whether how could they keep the fun of Battlefield while going back in time like that, and they've almost, it sounds like from the flight stuff, that they've used the technology as an excuse to make it more fun.
Yeah,
you know, more playable.
Definitely,
because it was slower.
I think it's exactly right. I don't know whether that was their intention or whether it's just a happy coincidence that there's something about this era and the technology that they had then that really just comes together to make an excellent game.
Well, again, I know that referring to our interview, which we'll link in the description, I can't remember who the guy was that we spoke to, which is bad, but he was saying that, you know, there were a few people who have been kind of campaigning internally at DICE for this for a while, and the general impression of everyone else was like, how are you going to make that work? You know, like, it's difficult to see where the fun is, and obviously they had a vision. And I think it's worth saying as well, like, you know, we preview a lot of games, and but not many times. So Dave, like, we got into this into the closed alpha, and Dave, like, I would happen to be the guy with time to do some capturing, and he actually like ended up sending me a text just going, like, man, this is really good, like unexpectedly good. We expect, you know, top games are normally fun, aren't they, in some way or another, but like.
I was sad that we only got one code, really, because I would really like to play this with you and Rob and Holly, and just getting to a squad. I think that would be next level of fun. I think that would be absolutely excellent.
That's always the nice thing about Battlefield, is that it is possible with the right kind of coordination and teamwork to really defeat people who simply have hours and hours to pour into it.
Yeah, exactly. So this was my much loved first look at Battlefield 1, the closed alpha, which has been running for a few days. I am absolutely blown away by it, and I can't wait to play more as soon as possible. Please do let us know in the comments below what you'd like to know about Battlefield, what you're looking forward to about it. Like this video if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe for everything PlayStation.